Let me ask you a question. What is your biggest struggle when it comes to meeting and attracting women? Okay, this is a question that I ask my students all the time. And without a doubt, the number one answer that I always get is approaching women. Okay, I struggle with the approach. I struggle with approach anxiety. I don't know how to approach women, right? That is the number one struggle that I hear. So in this video, I want to give you 3 ways, 3 techniques that you can use to approach women in any situation like a boss. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So I'm going to give you 3 different types of approaches, and I'm going to talk about the situation in which they will work best. Okay, now the first type of approach that I came up with this category is called a social approach. And yeah, I came up with the category of it, but these have been around forever. And a social approach is something that you could use at a party, you can use it at a bar, you can use it almost anywhere. This is the most versatile of the 3 approaches. And by a social approach, I mean you being social, okay? One of my first examples of this that works incredibly well, I just gave it to a buddy of mine, now it's his new favorite thing to do when approaching women, is walking up and saying, "Hi, I'm Joe. I'm just being social tonight. What are you guys up to?" Right? So you're actually saying that you're being social, okay? That's the reason for you approaching people. So going up and say, "Hey, how are you? I'm Joe. What's your name?" "Just being social tonight, wanted to meet some people," right? So being social and saying that you're being social can work incredibly well as an approach. It's one of, if not, probably my favorite approach to use. The delivery with this, as well as a lot of the other ones, is very important. So coming in with your chest out, a smile on your face, introducing yourself, a social approach can work so good. From there, you could ask any question, what are you guys up to? What are you celebrating? Where are you from? Get into a conversation with somebody, no problem. But going in socially and being socially warm and friendly is my favorite way to approach groups of people and approach women. The second type of approach is what we call a direct approach, okay? This one's been around for a while. And this one I used to advocate a lot more, okay? I would teach guys just to go direct, okay? Going up to a girl and saying, "Excuse me, I thought you were gorgeous. I wanted to come and meet you," right? And being very direct with your intentions, okay? This is something that once guys started doing it, it either works really bad or works really well, right? So it kind of weeds things out. It can be a good thing to put someone at a decision right away, you're into it or you're not, and not waste a lot of your time talking. But for you to go in social and be warm kind of opens things up a little bit easier for you without putting on as much pressure. Now, direct approaches definitely work really well, and I believe the time to use them is when you genuinely feel them, okay? If you see a girl that's love at first sight and you're really into, then yeah, going up to her, telling her how you feel when it's really true and genuine can be super powerful, could be more effective than any other way to approach. But the thing is, the mistake a lot of guys make is they'll use this approach all the time. "Excuse me, you're gorgeous. Excuse me, you're gorgeous." Or "I had to meet you, I had to meet you, I had to meet you." And it gets so watered down and inauthentic, okay? I say only use a direct approach when it's really true, when it's really genuine, when you really had to bring yourself over there to talk to her, and it's very authentic. When you use it that way, it can be very powerful. And my third favorite type of approach is going to be an observation or a situational type of approach, okay? And these kind of come up on the fly, so it's hard to give you some examples of these, but this may be, a couple girls standing around and, they're wearing like matching outfits, and then you just look over and say, "Hey, let me guess, are you guys in a sewing circle," right? Or who's getting married, or whose birthday is it, or something like that. So observing something about the group and going in with that, right? It could be observing about someone's drink, it could be observing about a dance move, it could be a compliment about something cool or interesting that she's wearing. "Oh, I like that, that's pretty cool." Or, "Oh, you got the moves, I like that, high five," right? It's just observing the situation and going in with it, okay? This type of approach works really well out at night. And this one I actually like to use a lot during the day, okay? This works really good in like a grocery store or something like that. So for example, you're in an aisle, you're checking some stuff out, there's a girl kind of in proximity to you. You could just look at the stuff and say, "This is my favorite aisle, I love this aisle," right? Something like that can start to spark a conversation. I go to Whole Foods a lot, and there's kind of a hot food bar. So I remember I was there the other day and some girls were kind of just standing around looking. They didn't really take a container yet, they were kind of looking around. So I said to them, like, "You guys gonna do it? You gonna jump in or what?" I'm like, "The food's pretty good." And they're like, "Yeah, I don't know, whatever," right? And they started to kind of laughing and going back with it. So I was just calling attention to the situation. These can work really good spontaneously. The biggest point to remember about these is that you have to introduce yourself after. It becomes very easy to use these to spark up a little conversation, get a couple laughs, and then kind of go off on your own. So for example, if you use one of those other ones, like I said, hey, you guys gonna jump in, whatever, you're gonna go for? Yeah, I don't know, I don't really know. And I'll be like, what are you guys in town for, right? And ask a question. And then say, I'm Joe, by the way, and introduce myself, right? The point is you want to now get into an actual conversation and get away from that approach. They're great to start to open up the conversation and break the barrier, the social barrier with somebody, but you have to introduce yourself and start an actual conversation with somebody. So there are several ways to start approaching women, but these are my absolute favorites. Don't forget to stand up straight, to smile, to have a good presence and a good energy, okay? The energy and vibe that I like to give is warm and friendly on an approach, okay? I don't like to come in like James Bond, excuse me, I had to come and talk to you, you are gorgeous. You know, I don't like to come in and put all that pressure on. I like to come in and be social and have a good energy and be positive. And that way I'm warm, I'm friendly, and it makes it easy for people to reciprocate that, okay? There's mirror neurons that they say are in our brains that we start to reflect how other people act, okay? We bounce our energy off of other people. So you wanna provide a good energy, good posture, good body language, and give a good effort forward so that you're gonna get one and a good energy back. If you're vibrating on that good frequency, you're more likely to bring other people up and have them vibrate on that positive frequency as well. So when it comes to approaching women, do not complicate it. Definitely use these 3 approaches. They're my favorite approaches. I teach them on every single boot camp that I teach. Go out and use them. And if you have any approaches that you like that work really well, feel free to add them in the comments below, and I'll have the next video for you right over here.